Welcome, everyone, to episode 20 of the What Sales and Marketing Got to Do with It podcast. My name is Gemma Adair, founder and principal marketing consultant at Riada Consultancy. This podcast aims to delve deep into the minds of sales and marketing industry leaders, uncovering what keeps them up at night, what drives their passion, and how they execute successful strategies in both their personal and professional lives. I'm delighted to welcome Boris Gojic, who is the marketing manager at Activision Blizzard. Great to have you, Boris.
Hey Gemma, how are you doing?
Good, good. By the way, I'm loving the hoodie.
Yeah, it's a hoodie. It's my good mood hoodie. I always
The
wear
good
when I want
mood
to be in a good
hoodie.
mood. Yeah, it works. It works magic.
I love it. I love it. Without further ado, please introduce who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Boris. I'm almost 42 years old. I am the marketing manager for Germany and Central Eastern Europe at Activision Blizzard, a video game company. I've been in marketing for 18 years now in various roles for various industries. And I'm very happy to be a guest on your podcast. And it's always great to be called a marketing leader. So I'll take that.
Perfect. And I do have to ask, do you play games yourself?
All the time. And I always wanted to work in games because that way it wouldn't feel like a job. And it turns out that's exactly what it was like. So for me, it was clear I wanted a career in games, and that's how I worked for it.
Awesome. Do you have any favorite games or types of games that you play?
No, I play pretty much everything from our own games like Call of Duty and even Candy Crush on the phone. So I don't discriminate any platform or any genre. So I just love playing.
Brilliant. No, that's brilliant. So when and where did your marketing journey begin? Tell us more.
So when I was in uni in Frankfurt, which is, by the way, studying economics in Frankfurt in Germany is the most basic thing you can do. It's like when you don't know what to do with your life, you study economics and you do it in Frankfurt. So that's kind of a cliche in Germany. So I did that because I didn't know what to do with my life. And I specialized in marketing because that was something my sister was doing in her job. She is at Universal Music and still is. And I always admired her, the stuff that she did, and said, I want to do that. But if I could do it in games, then I definitely want to do it in games. So my first internship was at a PC gaming magazine, which is not that marketing, but it's a bit of PR. And my second internship was as a PR manager at Electronic Arts, another video game company based in Cologne. And yeah, after my internship, they offered me a full-time job, and I stayed there, made a few moves over Microsoft and Avanade, where we met. And now I'm at Activision Blizzard in my 18th year in the industry.
Perfect. And just out of curiosity, what type of marketing do you do, or what does your role sort of consist of? So that would be the first phase of the question. But yeah.
So I used to do marketing, like all sorts of social media, PR comms, Marcom, trade marketing, even partner marketing. Currently, I'm overseeing the marketing on a territory level. Unfortunately, I have to do it from London, but that's a different story. Basically, I run awareness campaigns together with the media team, together with the comms team, with influencers, and I'm at the awareness end of the funnel, not on the conversion end of the funnel. So
Gotcha.
that's what I do.
Perfect. So it would be sort of field marketing. Do you sort of dabble in recruitment marketing or anything like that?
Recruitment marketing, not that much. I actually enjoyed that when I did it for 2 years at Avanade. It was something entirely different than what I did before. But no, it's more like, let's say, stunts, out-of-home campaigns, celebrities, influencers. Could be anything really, depending on what our goal is. It's very goal oriented. So, but mostly we're really trying to raise awareness for a game, because surprisingly, when you're in your industry bubble, you always think everybody knows everything about games anyway. So there's hardly anything you have to do. But when you look at the analytics and the awareness data, even our bestseller game, Call of Duty, people don't know it comes out every year. So we have to re-educate them.
That makes sense. That makes sense. No, that's great. Have you faced any challenges in your marketing career? And what were they, and how did you overcome them?
It's a good one. Very good one. So sometimes the data we're being presented and on which we base our decisions, the data is great. The things we as marketers need to do to use the data to make our job better. Sometimes the measure or the, how do I say, the conclusions we draw, they're being ignored by a management, by the upper management. It's like, yeah, data is fine, but we do things like we always did them. So that's always frustrating. And even if you want to do the right thing for your market, it's like, yeah, but let's do what we did last year. It's like, yeah, but it didn't work as well. And I think especially in territory marketing, where you have to convince, now I'm lucky enough, I'm German and I'm handling the German market. So I kind of have the credibility to, I really do know what I want to do there. Not all of my colleagues have the luxury, but still I have to fight the same fights everybody has to do marketing. What's with the budgets? Do we really need to try something else? Do we really need to test, or can we just play it on the safe side? I think that's the biggest challenge.
Okay. You mentioned there about, I think what you alluded to is the kind of influence, like influencing C-suite and just kind of getting them on board. Could you offer any tips and tricks in reference to what you're just mentioning there that someone could kind of take and kind of steer that conversation, influence that conversation?
If you have the luxury of good data on your side, then data it's so cold and it's so neutral and it always speaks the truth. If you have someone who analyzes it correctly, obviously. So if you have the data, work with the data. If you will never, I mean, maybe you will be shut down. That can happen, but you will always be right if you have the data. So it's not always about being right, but at least it gives you a good feeling that you tried everything and that you didn't just go by your gut and said, yeah, we should try that. It's great when your manager supports you and says, yeah, go with your gut, but depending on the budgets, that might be a very costly error. So if you have the data, if you have access to data, use it. And there's loads of resources out there.
Perfect. Which brings me on to what does a day in the life of Boris look like? And that could be from when you get up in the day, time you get up in the day, to your kind of morning ritual, to your professional sort of day, like your work day. Take us through a day in the life of Boris.
Yeah, let me think. Yeah, of course. So when I work from home, which is 3 days a week, it's a great luxury to have. I have to admit that I always need to have a coffee in bed. That's just a necessity. I mean, I tell myself it's a necessity. It's more like a luxury because when I do have to go to the office, I get up at 7 in the morning to beat the crowds on the Elizabeth line. I have a coffee. I have a normal breakfast. I am not the kind of person that gets up at 5 a.m. in the morning, runs a marathon, and then eats half an avocado for the rest of the day. No, I'm somewhat lazy. I turn on the laptop at 9. I look what's coming overnight. I check in on my team, how they're doing. Check the diary. Usually when I work from home, the diary is not that packed because I can get actual work done, which is very nice for a change. And then it's mostly emails, approvals, again, checking in on the team. Do they have everything they need? Checking in with my colleagues from other territories, see what they're up to, checking in with my manager. And yeah, it's a very very basic email job, at least for the first half of the year, before all the game launches, because they usually tend to launch in the second half of the year. Yeah, when I go to the office, I usually get there at 8:30, and then it's all day meetings, because that's why we're there, just to collaborate with our other disciplines, with the management team, with C-levels, and yeah, go in the trench fights about budgets. And it's always better to do it.
It's always a
in
great
person.
conversation.
Yeah, it is. It's always better to do that in person, and then obviously presenting what we have planned for our various launches. And yeah, when it comes to the second half of the year, there's loads of collaboration with agencies all over Germany and Eastern Europe, and it's very intense when it comes to calls or to travel there, to have workshops with them, and then actually executing launch events, or if we have video shoots, attend these. And yeah, it's never really slow, and there's lots of travel involved, but yeah, it's good fun. Like I said, always wanted to do that. Never feels like work.
Oh, that's great. And did I pick up there that you manage a team, or do you work with a team?
I have two colleagues reporting into me, yeah, which is always great. Two young ladies, and it's actually the most interesting part of my job currently, to try and not only teach but also learn from them, because they're Gen Z, I'm not, and the things they know I will never learn. The things I know I will never learn. And we have in our company something like not upward feedback, reverse mentoring, where our youngest team members mentor more loads of our more senior members.
Interesting.
The leadership team. Yeah, there's loads to learn, loads to catch up on.
And do they mentor you, or are you on a program, let's say, where someone mentors you?
Really depends. Usually it's like a 6-month thing. I had 3 mentees in the past 6 months, and I always try to learn from the team I'm currently managing. And there's just loads I do not know. And it starts with the cliche of no clue about TikTok. And if I look into the German Spotify charts, I have no clue what's going on there. Never heard of these people. And yeah, you have to be very humble and just acknowledge you can't know everything. And but I'm lucky that I have 2 amazing people on my team that don't ridicule me for not knowing a lot of things.
That's good. No, that's great. It seems like you've got a great setup and a great team there, that you can all kind of collaborate together and mentor each other and learn. Is there an area of marketing that you like the most, and why? So that would be my first part of that first question. And the other is there an area of marketing that you like the least, and why? Start with the most.
I think,
and why?
What I most like is partner marketing and getting brands together to collaborate on something that benefits both. I like the negotiating. I like to find the benefits for both parties, and when both parties are super engaged and they're really into it, then I think that's amazing, because we kind of know our audience, but how can we get other people to enjoy our products, to enjoy our games? And usually there's some brand out there that thinks the same. And how can they sell? How can they make their product more appealing to their audience? So I think that's what I enjoy most. And although I'm probably going to get crucified on the internet for that, is influencer marketing, I never got the hang of it. And I'm not very good in identifying the correct targets, or why person X is an amazing fit for brand Y. It's just, I'm so happy that our communications team is handling that, and they're fantastic at that. I would be miserable and awful at it. So yeah, it's just something that doesn't come naturally to me at all.
No, I thank you for being open and honest about that. So that's great. From your experience, what do you think are the misconceptions about marketing?
Yeah, we do ads all the time. That's I think that's the classic misconception, and that probably that marketing is directly responsible for sales.
Okay.
So if the sales are not there where they have to be, they go to marketing. I'm at the beginning of the funnel, and okay, if your awareness numbers are not there where they should be, please let's talk. If people are just not buying from your Amazon site or from your brick and mortar or from your own storefront, then that is hardly, I mean, I can try to help, but it's neither my expertise nor I wouldn't know. Have you identified where the problem is? So I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions. So it's not all ads, and it's not the marketing that failed when sales are maybe not where they should be.
Gotcha. Which brings me to my next question. I'm a firm believer in sales and marketing alignment. What
Yes.
is your thoughts?
I don't know if I can answer that properly because we don't have much of a sales organization, given that our goods are entirely digitally on our own storefront or on storefront from our first party partners from Microsoft or Sony. So in the recent years, the sales organization is not really a sales organization anymore. It's there's lots of data analysts that are creating forecasts that we work against, but I think there needs to be an alignment when it comes to price promotions or when there are any cultural events, like maybe the Euros now happening in Germany, the male football Euros. That we do some sort of promotion there, which is where marketing can directly influence and help when there's a price promotion. But at least in our case, it does not really work that way.
Yeah,
simply because we own the storefront most of the times.
that makes sense. And from your previous experience with other companies, like what would be your thoughts on just kind of sales and marketing alignment, or just your thoughts in general about what you, yeah.
I think there wasn't that much of a desire to align. I mean, anybody can look up my LinkedIn bio and find out from what place I'm talking about. But it's since the personal goals you have in a company don't always align with the company sales goals. For example, a sales rep would have, okay, I need to sell X thousand units, and then I get my bonus. And I'll be like, okay, I need to raise awareness by X percentage to get my bonus. And sometimes these two clash. And sometimes people don't work that well together anymore when it comes to that. So I had different experiences. That I am a firm believer, as you are, about sales and marketing alignment. It just currently there is no way to align better, and in the past, I think there were too many silos, and I think marketing and sales alignment, unfortunately, is a little bit of a new thing where people found out, hey, that actually makes a lot of sense. But yeah, we'll see my next role. We can talk whenever that happens.
So you think, is your kind of thoughts around, there needs to be a bit more sort of education around it, more sort of collaboration coming together, understanding, the strengths, the kind of the wants, the needs, the goals, and kind of bringing the two so that they're on the same page?
Yeah, there's probably a misconception who can help whom.
Mm-hmm.
So if I stay in the very 90s example of a salesperson trying to get their sales bonus and a marketing person trying to get their marketing bonus, if the salesperson sells more, the company will do much better and bonuses will be much better. So if you really think in your own little small bubble as a marketer, you should realize that you should help that salesperson. And if you really want to help them, explain to them how you can help, or ask them, is there anything I can do for you? And again, that's very 90s Wolf of Wall Street kind of thinking. So please don't think I think so. But yeah, I think it's an education of, hey, either asking, hey, how can I help you? Or stating, hey, I can help you with X.
Makes sense. How do you stay up to date with what's happening in the market, whether it's the gaming market or whether it's just marketing in general? As you know, marketing is evolving like the speed of light. It's constantly evolving. Today's marketing will be different from tomorrow's marketing, and so on and so forth. So yeah, how do you stay up to date with what's happening in the market?
I use loads of social media, which I think is the standard answer. So that box is already ticked. But in all seriousness, I use LinkedIn. I do lots of LinkedIn trainings and try to stay up to date with people what have to say there. When it comes to trends, I try to talk to my sister at least once a month about things like that. She heads marketing at Universal Music. And so if I actually need to know who that person on the Spotify top 10 is, I can ask her. She probably knows. But yeah, and then listening to what the team has to say. We all have different backgrounds. We are a very diverse team, and with diverse previous jobs. And yeah, every day is a school day in when we come to the office. So it's a good place to learn.
From
Actually.
each other.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What's your thoughts on, tools or different things like podcasts, market research sites or papers or anything like that? Do you sort of have a look at any of those?
I would listen to more podcasts if I worked out more, which I should do, but I don't find myself. I never sit down for an hour to listen to a podcast.
Okay.
And the commute, luckily, is quick enough. In London, I'm probably the first person to say that, but it actually is. And while I do enjoy podcasts, I just don't find the time to listen to them. So if I would get back to the gym, I would probably listen to more of them. Papers on marketing strategy, I would rather read a blog about it because it's more current, because by the time a paper is published, peer-reviewed, all the data analyzed, the question is it still valid? It's not that anything's wrong about what's in there, and no discredit to any of the people who write them, but I just don't know how much I can learn in that moment to solve a particular problem I'm facing.
Yeah.
And then it's very expensive to get them. You have to be a member somewhere, or have to be in a uni at university, still pay your fees and whatnot. So it's not that easy to find them. Sometimes it's better if you ask the author directly on LinkedIn. If you find them, hey, can you give me a copy of that paper? That usually they're kind enough just to send it because they want their word out there as much as possible.
Makes sense. You mentioned gym there. You mentioned the coffee in the morning. Work-life balance. It's a term that gets spread around a lot, used a lot. How do you create work-life balance yourself?
I just hope none of my colleagues listen to this. No, so my fiance and I, we love traveling. And by we love traveling, we really mean we love traveling. So we try to go on one big, massive trip per year. And if that means saving up the holidays just to make that one happen, and luckily my employer is kind enough to sometimes give me 3 or 4 weeks at a time off, which is not it's not normal. So shout out to my employer. That's really, really very nice. Also to my manager. But yeah, looking forward to that trip is gives me the balance I need, and the fact that we can work from home 3 days a week, even if we can't come in for whatever reason. We don't have to, like nobody's keeping score or looking what are you doing. So and then like I said at the beginning, I'm doing what I really love, what I always wanted to do. So while during launches there might be 70, 80 hour weeks, I know that this is not the norm, and it'll get better and come January, February, March. So yeah, it's I would not say that work-life balance is a big issue, at least for me personally.
Where have you been with these trips? And I know I've seen a picture or two of the trip that you were previously on, which looked like Antarctica or something along the lines of that. But yeah, tell us more about the trips that you go on. What's a trip for you? What's a holiday for you?
So that trip you're mentioning, so we went on an expedition ship to Antarctica for 10 days. And
Wow.
then we went to Argentina, Chile, and we spent Christmas on the Easter Islands. So just we try to see places where you usually don't get to that easily, or that you. I mean, my fiance always wanted to do a cruise. She's on her 6-month sabbatical right now, so she's not working for
Okay.
6 months. That's why we're traveling a lot right now. And she wanted to do a cruise, and said, I don't want to do a cruise. I am not a fan of cruises. No.
Oh, okay.
And she said, pretty please? And I said, yeah, okay. If we go on a cruise, but then we go somewhere where there's no other way to go to than by ship. And that's
Okay.
Antarctica. That's how we got to Antarctica.
Wow.
So it wasn't like a bucket list thing that we wanted to go to Antarctica. It was just like, and it was fantastic. It was amazing. It's a once in a lifetime thing. So I don't want to be on a ship cruising through the Caribbean when there's like 4 other ways to go there. That's
Gotcha.
not interesting for me. And yeah, that's for us. That's a trip. And next month we're meeting in Australia, and we go road tripping in Australia for the month of March. So yeah, these
That's
kind of things.
incredible.
Again, hopefully my colleagues will all have dialed out by now.
And prior to Antarctica, where were you prior to Antarctica? Where was the trip before that?
The trip before that was Hawaii for 3 weeks.
Oh wow. What
There
was
was
Hawaii like?
it was very warm, very beautiful, and very far away. So it's not that very often you come to these in that area of the planet. So yeah, it was really good. It was for my 40th birthday, so it was something special. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, these trips just sound amazing. Out of this world, as the saying goes.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's brilliant that you can kind of have that time to do that and spend time with your fiance and so on, which is really, really great. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Oof. Um. Ooh. So I can't recall the phase where usually boys want to be astronauts or firefighters. So I don't know what my.
Okay.
But when when my sister started her, do you say apprenticeship? I don't know if that's the right word in English.
Internship.
Yeah, maybe that. In marketing for a record company, I was 11. And whenever she talked about work, I was like, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. So actually, yeah, as boring as it may sound, a marketer always was very interesting, at least in the phase where things became a tiny bit more realistic than astronaut or firefighter.
Awesome. And just out of curiosity, has your sister always been in marketing for all of her? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. So brother and sister in the same kind of, yeah. That's brilliant. You're both in marketing, which is awesome. Awesome. Yeah. What is your passion in life and what drives you?
That's a very deep question, Gemma.
That's why I love that question.
I think in general, what drives me is new experiences. So doesn't have to be my own new experience, but like we have a massive team of colleagues that are under 30, and it's maybe their very first job or maybe their second job, and it's a very exciting company in an exciting field. And seeing them become passionate about their job and them not seeing it as a necessity or a means to an end, that is fantastic. And if I can help a little bit and them having a great experience, then even better. And yeah, just trying to do things differently every time. Because I mean, a game launch is a game launch, and there've been a lot of them in the past 18 years. But if I can change one thing per launch, then I'm already happy and motivated for the next one. So not asking a lot, but I just don't want the thing I love doing marketing for games to become dull. As soon as it becomes dull, I would find something else. I would try find something else in this climate.
Makes sense. No, that's great. Is there somebody that inspires you, whether dead or alive?
Oof.
And it could be a group, it could be people. Doesn't have to necessarily be somebody, but yeah. Inspires you whether dead or alive.
Okay, I'm gonna go for the very cheesy answer here. I think my parents.
Yeah. That's perfect.
They came from Bosnia to Germany when they were 17, didn't speak the language. My dad is a carpenter. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. And they raised 3 halfway decent kids, made everything possible for them, told them to follow their dreams. They were perfectly integrated into German society. So like a tiny example for them, it was clear we celebrate Christmas on the 24th, 25th of December and not like other Orthodox people on the 6th, 7th of Jan.
Okay.
Because we are in Germany and all of our friends at school celebrate Christmas that way. So that's how it's going to be from now on. And that's how we did it for 50 years now. And so, yeah, they are a big inspiration to me. And yeah, they're getting a bit old now, but seeing what they achieved and seeing what they've made possible for us, that's really humbling, and I really appreciate that.
That's great. And which brings me to the question on, do they understand what you do as an occupation, as a profession?
I think to a degree they know. It's just for them, video games are more of a time waster than listening to music. So if we compare my sister's job and mine, so they always said, when I was playing video games as a kid, yeah, don't waste your time. How did they say it? I try to translate in German. Stop hunting these figurines on the screen.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
you will never make money by doing that. I'm like, yeah, just you watch, and yeah.
They did say, open to go and live your dream, and so I think it was kind of like you were determined from then and right.
Yeah, and
As you just
then
quite rightly said.
yeah, from my first salary, I invited them to a nice dinner, and then they realized, oh, this dinner has been paid for by the video game industry. So yeah, never had an issue after that.
Oh, that's great. If you could speak to your younger self, what would you say to them?
The same thing the younger self would tell me, work out more. No, just in all
I thought
honesty,
you were being
I would
truthful
I would
then.
I would tell my younger self to put a little bit more effort into school and uni,
Okay.
because the fact that I made it was more luck than anything else. And that's something, I mean, it turned out great in the end. So there's nothing I can complain about now, but I think life in general would have been easier for me if I put in a little bit more effort into studying. So yeah, I was lazy. So I would tell my younger self, stop being lazy.
Stop being lazy. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Here on your podcast on the 5th anniversary of our recording. No, I I I don't know. If I can stay in the industry, that's great. If I move to Southeast Asia and run a surf bar on a Thai island, then that's what I'll do. There's been so many restructurings in the companies I worked for and work for, that nothing's certain anyway, and it's big corporations. So, and I mean, I picked that myself, so I'm not blaming anyone. But it can just change so quickly, and it changed for me quickly. I never thought I would live in London 5 years ago, and now I'm here for almost 5 years now. And yeah, well, whatever the future brings, I'll be there. I just hope to be healthy in 5 years, healthy and alive, and that's the main thing.
That's great. What do you want to be remembered by?
That I really was never asked, because I never thought about the fact that somebody might, it sounds very sad, it might remember me by anything, but I don't think I need to be remembered by anything. I just want that when people think about it, they don't say, "Oh, what a jerk." I think if that's what I can get out of this, that people don't think I'm a jerk, then I'll take that.
It's a good answer. Yeah, yeah. It's a different answer to how others have answered it. But yeah, no, that's great. If you had a chance to be a superhero or have some kind of superpower or superpowers, who would you be and why? Or if you had the superpowers, what would they be and why?
So I would make up a superpower that would actually get me to do things whenever I think about them. And I don't mean that a bottle of wine opens magically when I just think about it. Just like I think of going to the gym and I actually go to the gym. That would be the superpower I want. And from the classic superheroes we know, I'd probably go with I was just watching some of the movies the other week. So I'll probably, as modest as I am and humble as I am, go with Iron Man. It's just because he doesn't have any, except for his intelligence, that I would need to catch up on. He does not have a superpower at all. He's just an engineer, which is, I think, it's a good superpower to have, being smart.
That makes sense. If you had to ask the audience a question, what would that be?
What are you most annoyed by in modern marketing? Yeah, that was an easy one.
Okay. And just a final question. Do you have any final words that you would like to share?
I never thought that I'd be guest at a podcast, so thanks for that, first of all. I can't believe that people would actually sit down and listen to me talk, which and not knowing me, first and foremost. So thanks for listening. Thank you for setting up, first of all, your podcast. I love the connection between sales and marketing. I think it's an important one, and somebody should look out for the humble marketeer, the humble salesman. So thanks for doing that. And thank you for listening. You can find me on LinkedIn. If you don't like me, please don't find me on LinkedIn. If you think what I said was awful, please do not find me on LinkedIn. And yeah, thanks a lot.
No, thank you, Boris. Thank you so much for your time today. I know you're pretty busy with your day to day and what you do. So really appreciate you taking the time out today, and thank you for being just open and honest about, with the questions that have been asked, and thank you for telling your story as well.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.